Hey guys, this video will be quite long. Yes, I have narcissus here because they represent rebirth in spring. I wanted to do a live, but then I was like, I don't like lives, so I'm gonna do a normal video, but it's gonna be quite long. And I've been God gave me this word weeks ago, or like 10 days ago or 2 weeks ago, or last month somehow, at work. Obviously he does that when I'm at work, and then obviously I have a notebook and I'm writing down stuff that he's downloading to me at work. And when I was reading, you know, Genesis, the famous verse that everybody like is holding on to regarding kingdom marriages, Genesis 2:22, and he brought her to the man. I read the following verses, you know, and I got stuck kind of on Genesis 2:23. There's gonna be a lot in this video. Please bear with me. Oops, I forgot to make my tea. Never mind. Bring your tea and just bear with me. So it was Genesis 2:23, and then I read the following verses too. Wait, let me. You know, when the Lord said it's not good for the man to be alone, blah blah blah, I will make him a helper fit for him. Now out of the ground the Lord had formed every beast of the field and every bird of the heavens, and brought them to the man to see if what he would call them. And whatever the man called every living creature, that was its name. The man gave names to all the livestock, blah blah blah. And then but for Adam there was not found a helper for him, fit for him. So the Lord caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, we know that. And while he slept, took one of his ribs and closed up its place with flesh. And the rib that the Lord had taken from the man, he made into a woman, and brought her to the man. Then, and this is where I continued, you know, and then the man said, "This is at last bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. At last, finally, she shall be called woman, because it was taken out of the man." Woman in the original language means sustainer, helper, sustainer. She took him, God took her from him, from his rib, because he knew what he needed. I'm gonna get into that later. And then therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. They were one flesh in the beginning, because like obviously it's like the flesh of Adam was split in two and God created the woman. And the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed. So the first time I was like, okay, you want me to do a video on bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. You want me to know what this means more in depth, what it actually means, bone of my bone. Because okay, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, metaphorically we kind of know that, but I wanted more depth, because like, you know me, I want more depth, even more depth. So it was very hard. It was very hard. First I did, well, researches on what like biblical commentators do say and how they interpret it and stuff like that. And there's a lot. I have notes unrelated to this message here. So God built up woman from Adam's rib. This is notes that I took at work, Googling at work stuff. So instead of forming her like he could have made her from dust, just like Adam. But he made her from his essence. And obviously, a lot of commentators said that this is a symbol of intimate closeness. Obviously, you know, it's not deep enough that I need more God. Or it was a symbol of distinction from each other, like yin and yang, and like completion, like they are complementary, they complete each other. Yes. Well, yes. Both of them were made in God's image, with capacity to know God, the truth, beauty, and reason. Their existence is defined by their relationship with the Creator. That's what people said. They were designed to be together instead of alone. So, and what also people said that, commentators, you know, before I got my researches, you'll see at the end. You'll see at the end. Stay until the end. So is the idea that marriage was designed before sin, before a separation comes. It was God's plan for humanity all along, to be one. How did I find this? I found even people saying that there is an assumption that it was revealed to Adam in a vision when he was asleep, because he was sleeping, that this lovely creature now presented to him was a piece of himself and was to be companion and the wife of his covenant. So that's just like random notes that I took at work, and then I wasn't satisfied with the information I got. Sorry, I needed more revelation on it. What does it mean? What does it mean more in depth to be bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh? Is that a way to recognize your kingdom spouse? And the thing is, I kind of dropped down this thing because I was like, it's too complicated. I'm not getting anywhere. It's pretty clear, like in the Bible, like what else do I need to do about it, you know? So, and then I dropped down, and then I posted a video. Obviously God was reminding me, the Holy Spirit was reminding me all the time to like keep making researches and stuff, and I was like, I can't find it, like you give me the revelation, because I can't find it. And I posted a video, the 3 days of darkness, and when I filmed the video, the length was 2:22. We all know what that means. Kingdom marriages everywhere, 2:22. Mark 2:22, Genesis 2:22. And I was like, but when I posted it, it was 2:23, and I was like, why can't like stay 2:22? Because like that was like a little like prophetic numerology to be like, oh, my kingdom husband is coming, you know. But because it was 2:23 and God left it like that, even though I made some efforts to make it 2:22 to edit the video within YouTube, anyway. And I was like, it was like, for me, it was like a God wink. God was reminding me of Genesis 2:23 and not 2:22. No, Naomi, you're not getting your 2:22. You're gonna get your 2:23, and you're gonna do this video, and you're gonna do bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh video. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And guess what happened? Guess what happened? Throughout my whole 3 days of end of March, early April, I was seeing constantly seeing the numbers 12, 22, 12, 21, divine reversal, like 1, 2, 2, 1, or 2, 1, 1, 2, everywhere. And that was 2 make 1. I was like, 2 make 1. You're bone of bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. 2 make 1. Ugh, there's a lot. Wait. 2 make 1. They need to be from the same material to make 1, right? Oil and water don't mix together. Oil is good, water is good, it may be good, they may be good separately, but do they do a good match? Apples and vinegar are good, but no, that's a bad example, but you need the right combination, you need the right ingredients to make a good cake, to make a good recipe. You can't just pick whatever you have in the fridge. You can't just pick bananas and mayo and try to make something. They're good separately, but not together. No matter how much you try, oil and water don't mix together. And then on the 3rd of April, I was at work and I still was thinking about it, like, what else can I add to this? Okay, 2 make 1, they're from the same material. They have been shaped by God, maybe in similar ways, or they are kind of similar in the sense that they can recognize each other, and Adam can recognize that there's a part of him that is in Eve, and he can see that. Why? Because he knows himself. Like, if he didn't know himself, he wouldn't recognize like Eve that is like him, you know. And there's something in common, there's something similar about kingdom marriages. And I was like, what is that? Because God was saying, and I said it, I put it in the video, that he's gonna put the lion and the lamb stay together. The lion and the lamb will dwell in the same place. The cobra and the child, he will make unlikely pairs stay together, stay glued together in the covenant. Pairs that you wouldn't think of, pairs that are not like compatible in human terms, you know. He will make it, and you will know it's God, because you will know it's God. Because otherwise it wouldn't have been possible, you know. And I was like, if that's true, then how can like your kingdom husband be so similar to you, that is bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh, and that there's like something core in you that is in him, and vice versa, like we're the same material, you know, because this can be taken as it is, or it can be metaphorical. And I was at work, and I get a call again. Sorry, touching my hair a lot. I get a call, and the postcode of the person has three twos in the middle. You know, in the UK it's like 2 letters, 3 numbers, 2 letters, and the 3 numbers were 222. Like, okay gosh, I know it's coming, but you better make it come, because I'm not gonna stick to those things and those signs for too long, you know. It has to mean that it's really close if you show me that. And the street name was 44. Number 4 means the Lord will fight for you. It means protection from God. And the street name was Bridge End. And before that, the same day, a few hours earlier, I get another call, because you know I had to put the address of the customer, the person calling. and their address is 2 Bridges Road. 2 Bridges Road. And the second call was 44 Bridge End. And I was like, okay, this must mean something. I don't know what yet, but this must mean something. Bridge. 2 bridges. And at first I thought that everybody, like both of us, have to make equal efforts, like a bridge, you know, to get to each other, and bridge end is like, I don't know. And 2 bridges, like 2 people, and like bridge, I don't know, like I was trying to see what that meant and stuff in my own terms. And then I was like reading the Bible, and then I went to like at the back when you have the concordance, you know, and I stopped on the word wedding, you know. Matthew 22:11. Obviously when it's wedding, it's always a 2 too. Matthew 22:11. About the man who came to the wedding without garment and was chased away. Which was, I thought, kind of brutal when I read that first time. But I linked it with faith without works. You've been invited. You've been called. Many are called, but few are chosen. But you presented yourself unprepared. That could be for a whole different video. You presented yourself to the calling unprepared. And then I was like, why is it in the context of wedding that it's so important that you need to be prepared? You know, covenant, marriage, that's so important for God, and it won't let you go into it unprepared, because you're gonna fail. You can't fail that because there's a big calling attached to that. Big mission attached to that. Prepared. In order for 2 people to make one, it requires work. It requires preparation. That's what actually meant by in Matthew 2:11 when the guy came at the wedding unprepared. And the other one was in John 22. Again, John 22. No, John 2:2, sorry. Wedding is a feast. It's something that gives you peace. When 2 people make one, when somebody's bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh, it doesn't bring anxiety to you. It doesn't bring stress to you. It doesn't bring overthinking to you. It brings you peace. It brings you clarity. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if other people don't see it as it makes sense, they will see it. Because God is a God of truth, and God reveals all truth, and He will reveal the truth. That your marriage is a kingdom marriage. But even if there's no logical reasons for it to make sense, you're still at peace. You're still confident, you know, because wedding is a celebration. Like every time there's a wedding, it's a big thing in the Bible. Also, this is also confirmed in Revelation 19:7. The bride has made herself ready for the marriage of the Lamb. And obviously we know that God is comparing all the time us, the church, global church, the body of Christ, with like, we are the bride of the Lamb. We are the bride of Christ. He redeemed us. He chose us, and we have to be prepared. But He loves us unconditionally. You know, an Ephesians 5 man, a Proverbs 31 woman. In order for a kingdom marriage to work, it requires the same, like Ephesians 5 love, a Christ love the church kind of love, both ways. And then we come to the fun part, and we're gonna be done with it. On 4th of, I never have dreams. Let me say it. I had 2 in March, and those 2 were like the first dreams since 2007. The first dreams I had, prophetic dreams, since 2007. I never dream. But a few months ago, I was like, oh, it would be nice if I had dreams. That would be so much clearer for me to know what to do, to know your will and stuff. Careful what you pray for. So I had 2 dreams consecutively, on the morning of the 4th of April, the resurrection, and on the 5th, today morning. And that confirmed it. That confirmed what I wanted to find out. What does it mean to be bone of your bone, bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh? And in the dream, I wrote it down. In the first dream, that was yesterday, there was a person I knew in the dream. 2 people were in the dream, they were like married. They were married. There was a feeling that they were one and they were a couple. And they were both getting ready for a journey. It was winter and it was cold. After they had actually, in the dream you could see they were married. Actually, some parts of the dreams are personal, because my mom was in the dream and a person I know was in the dream, and the character of my mom regarding that relationship, which was like, it was like personal, you know. But the second part of the dream is more public, so I can share. The second part of the dream is the couple was getting ready for a journey. We are going somewhere, but we don't know where. Can't remember who initiated the journey, but we were both getting ready for the journey. Next thing we know is that we had a lot of layers of clothes, as if it was North Pole. It was like cold, cold, cold. I had 2 coats on me. He had 2 coats on him. But before we left for the journey, I don't know where, we get interrupted to help somebody in the house. The place was half indoor, half outdoors. It was a small room and somebody was there needing help. The sky was nice, morning light, blue sky, and the sun was going in the room, half room. Somebody asked me to help with something. I can't remember who it was. Can't remember what it was. But I know it was distracting us from our preparation, because we were literally about to leave. And I remember whatever that delay was, it caused an argument as to where and how and what and what's the best decision to do before the journey. That person who interrupted us, I think if I remember, was showing us a map or something and making us disagree on the journey and stuff. We argued and stuff, but love was still there even if we argued. I could feel it in the dream. It was so present. And I remember I said in the argument that this relationship matters more to me than an argument. And that person chose to love me even more because of what I said and how I was. And we started the long road after, and my partner the guy brought a 3rd huge coat, and he gave it to me, insisting me to take it instead of taking it himself. Although the coat was for men, though the coat was his side, he insisted me to wear it. And previously I would have refused. I would have been like, no, you need it more than I do, take it. So even if he maybe needed it more, he was insisting me to have it So I was so dressed up, like so dressed up with the clothes that I couldn't have anything more, like backpack and clothes, and couldn't have anything more. But I took it because I knew that's what he wanted. And he smiled and the dream ended. And I wrote everything down because I never get dreams or clear dreams like that. And in 2 parts, both dreams were in 2 parts. And for this first dream, I understood that God insisted on the journey that you both are gonna have, the mission, the purpose in common, the mission 360. That was confirming what I wanted to find out on what it actually means to be bone of each other's bone. It has to have something that links you to, and that's purpose, and that's the mission. And I know it's so obvious, blank spotted, but like the way it was presented to me, the way God presented me this, it made that I wouldn't like deny it, I wouldn't doubt it anymore. I would just search for that in a relationship. I would search for that. And the second dream was this morning, actually, and it was also in 2 parts. It was also in 2 parts, and the first part goes like this. So it was me again and my kingdom husband, which I didn't know, and we were distributing 5,000 letters in the mailboxes manually. It was a really hard chore. I don't remember what we were distributing. We had flyers and we had like mini books, but we had to distribute the 5,000 to the houses. It was really hard because some people rejected us. It was like a booklet for help and guidance for the future, something like that we knew that the world needed, you know, that. And the thing is, it required to knock at the door and not just drop the flyer. It required us to knock at the door. We were knocking at the door and giving the flyer, and it was hard because a lot of people were refusing us, and we were only distributing them. There's some details I still don't get them. We were only distributing them ground floor and first floor of the buildings. And I can feel in the dream that it was a dangerous task because somebody got shot one time doing this. The second part of the dream is someone's wife, girlfriend, getting shot in the street. There's like a civil war or something. And I think the flyers that we distributed were to help people or prevent that. But I don't remember what was in them, and I think it was on purpose that I didn't see what was in them. And the only help possible was, actually Jesus was walking in the civil war, and the only help possible was Jesus resurrecting her. But unfortunately Jesus had just left and wasn't in the area anymore. I feel like the bad guy, a guy with authority, or with power at least, not authority, came, and all of a sudden he says he's Jesus. He passes by, but not doing us any harm, but not helping the girl neither. I knew he was the bad guy, but we were kind of released in the movie. The people around were kind of released because, oh, there's like, it was anarchy, like civil war, everybody doing what they wanted, and there was like some sort of authority, of like influential power, you know, so some sort of like guidance, leadership, or not even, but like dictator. But he didn't help the girl, and I think she died, and her boyfriend didn't care anymore. He even forgot about her. And I was just seeing stuff happening in the street, and I didn't even know where my husband were, but I knew he was by my side. Second part of the dream was weird, but this is what I remembered, because I'm really bad at, like, I never dream, so I'm really bad at, like, memorizing, like, what I dreamt of. And I felt like with those two, God was saying that you're getting on in a war, you're getting on a fight, you're getting on a mission. Like, you have a task. You're gonna do that with your kingdom husband. And that was, I knew that already, you know, I knew it already. But because I dreamed, and because I was so, like, focused on bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, to be able to be like, that person needs to be so similar to me that our lives will go in the same direction. Our lives will be similar because our mission will be similar. It's gonna be dangerous. But in both of the dreams, love was there. Love was there. It was unconditional. It was agape. It was for better, for worse. It was, I don't care about the rest. I want to do this with you kind of love. And the thing is, I think this is what confirmed what I wanted to search on. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. It's not just any alignment. It's not just any marriage. It's not just any wedding. It's a bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh kind of wedding. And you will see it. You will recognize it. That was really long. Sorry about that. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for tuning in, staying until now. I'm gonna have to edit this, unfortunately, because camera stopped in the middle because it was too long, but I'll see you in the next word. Bye bye.